Hey everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's the Soup from Raven's Escape Crafts. I hope you guys are all doing good today. This lighting today is terrible. I don't know. I know it's been a minute since I made a video. I am so sorry. I know I can make excuses. But I I'll make. I'm not gonna make excuses. So if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. This is Raven's Escape Crafts, and we talk about yarn, life, crochet, crafting, all sorts of stuff. I hope you all are doing good today. Like I said, I need to make a video. I'm struggling a little bit, but we're going to talk about yarn and stuff first. Projects. I have not made anything since the last time I talked to you guys. I have not finished a thing. Oh. But we'll talk about why a little bit more later. I'll show you what I've been working on. So first off, I started using these sweetie cakes. I showed you these. These are the new ones from Michael's. We'll talk about yarn first. This is in Fudge Sunday. And I have to say, I love the color. Okay, I love the colors. I started this hat. The problem is it's not right. It's too long. It's not big enough. It's supposed to be big by now, and I did not. It's just, it looks more like a snake. I love the colors. I love the way it stripes up. So if you're wondering how it stripes up, it looks beautiful. It's beautiful. It really is. I'm sorry. It's dark today, so like there's no natural light. So I'm just relying on my LED light here. But the colors are gorgeous. If you can see, it has like a speck to it. I love it, but I screwed it up. And I have to, this is why I haven't got anything done, because I've been slowly but surely realizing how much I screwed it up. And I don't really want to frog it, but I need to frog it. I need to frog it. I need to frog it bad. But I did so much work on it. But I know I'm just in. So I've been working on that. So I need to frog that, and I need to restart it, and then I will feel better. And then as far as yarn goes, somebody contacted me about wanting a shawl. I have a shawl that's like, it's a blue color, different blues shawl. And it has beading on the edges. So this lady was contacting me about making one in like a burgundy, or not burgundy, purple or a magenta. Now, I don't have any yarn in stock right now, in my stock right now, that fits exactly what they're looking for. So, but I was pulling colors out that I had, and I came up with this. This is one of the new tiramisu cakes in Berry Bliss. So I stopped the hood because I'm having a crochet block. I almost said a crotch block. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. A crochet block. And so I started working this up in a, there's more pink to it. It's not showing up well. Oh, there we go. In a shawl. So I'm working on this in the meantime. So we'll work on this today with you guys, because it's going to turn into a beautiful hood, but I needed a minute. I need a minute to accept the fact that I need to rip that entire thing out. It was so much work, and I was having, today's going to have some realness to it. So I'm going to try to keep the beginning of this video upbeat, and then I'll let you guys know when we're getting to the real stuff. So if you want to turn it off, you can. So yeah, so I'm working on that. I'm working on this shawl. It's going to be pretty, if nothing else. I have 2 cakes of this, and I'm going to make it into this shawl, and it's absolutely going to be pretty. That's for sure. So there's that. So I'm doing this in the meantime. I'm doing, in case anybody's interested, it's a row of double crochet, and then I don't know if you can see it. I wish I could get this lighting to work better. I'll show you on the edge here. This is a row of the twisted double crochet. I have a row of double crochet and then a row of just double crochet, chain one, double crochet. That's where the pattern. I think it makes a pretty pattern. It gives it a little bit of something. And I think this one I am going to put beads on the edge. So, if you guys are interested, I can show you how to do that too. I did, I'm working on that. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know if it's like, because we're getting closer to spring, or I've been on the struggle bus and stuff like that. So I've been trying my darndest to keep myself happy and motivated. I have just been, like I told you last video, I've been struggling a little bit. I have been reading some, which is good. I did read a book in between the last book I talked to you guys about, which I think was Dungeon Crawler Carl, and this book, which is Dungeon Crawler Carl again. I did read a book in between there. It wasn't that great. I'm not going to lie. I'm not even going to show it to you. It was very disappointing. And it takes a lot for me to say that. It was just, it was a political book. Sort of, not really even. It was a book about the Oath Keepers, if you know who they are. And it was written by a guy that was, but to be honest with you, it wasn't well written. I'm not even, like I said, I'm not even going to show it to you because I was hoping for more of a story. The guy claims he's a journalist, who wrote this book. I'm going to tilt you guys down a little bit so you can see me better. The guy claimed he was a journalist and a writer, but the book was very disjointed. It was not a good read. And I'm not one to say that. I'm usually very positive about books. There's very few books I've read that I really didn't like a lot, that I wouldn't even show you to recommend. That's not one. It was not well written. It was so jumpy. It was hard to keep up with what was going on. It was very disjointed. And this was somebody's, like, he was writing his own story, so it really shouldn't have been that way. I don't know. It was bad. So, on a lighter note, today I finished Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 3, which is the Dungeon Anarchist Cookbook. Oh my god, this one was the biggest one yet. This one's 512 pages. This is by Matt Dinneman. Like I said, I've said before, if you like sci-fi, fantasy kind of stuff, these books, I mean, I literally like just sit here and laugh out loud, but they also have such a good story. They have such good characters. I'm so invested in the characters in the story. I need to know what happens. Right now, I think there's 7 books out in the series. The 8th one comes out in May. So I finished book 3. I don't have book 4 yet. I will soon. But they're really good books. I know there's like a whole cult following for these books, but I get it. I get why. Because they're, like I said, I have not enjoyed a new series like this in a long time. And oh, bless you, Kitty Cat sneezed. They have really good bless you. They have really good characters. They have, it's a good story, good characters, heartfelt moments that you don't expect. They're deeper than you, they're deep. They really are deep. I was not expecting that out of these books. But, laugh out loud, funny, very well written. Very well written. And the part that I appreciate about this one the most of all, and this is not spoilers, okay, is each book so they're in a dungeon, like basically kind of like in a video game, okay? But like it's real life, and if you perish, you perish. Let's put it that way. So there's levels, like in a video game, and this level, we're on level 4 at this point because the first book was 2 levels. So this one we're on the 4th level, I think. Yeah. Was trains, okay? And it's like all these different trains and all these different stations and all this different like train lines and different stuff like that. And I love because like in the very beginning of this book, and like I said, this is not a spoiler in any way, shape, or form. He starts out this book saying, "Hey Matt, the author guy here. Quick note about this particular book. The 4th floor of the dungeon is set up as a massive, deliberately confusing puzzle. Carl, Donut, and the rest of the team have to work really hard to figure out the dungeon's layout. You, the super awesome reader, do not need to understand the floor's intricacies in order to understand or fully enjoy what is happening. Platform names and numbers and colors are going to be flying by. It's okay not to remember them. It only becomes important at the end." So I love that he put that in the beginning of this book, because I'm one where, like, when I'm given like too much information in a book, I start to not want to read it. If I can't remember all this, like for example, if there's like too many names thrown around, okay, especially when they're too close to each other. Ooh, I hate when that happens. When there's like Mike and Mark, and Mike and Mark are like very similar, and you're like, oh wait, which one's Mike? Which one's Mark? Which one's Matt? Or like Sherry and Cherry, or Jenny and Ginny. I read a book with Jenny and Ginny, with both with J's, Jenny, Ginny. Like wait, which? Wait, oh wait, this is Jenny. Oh no, this is Ginny. Oh my god. So I was so appreciative that he was like, don't worry, don't get confused. Because then I was like reading it and I was just like, oh, okay, I don't need to know. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't need to think about, like, okay, what platform are we on? Oh, wait, what line is this? Oh, wait, which way does this go? Because I'm like, just read the story. Just read the story. Just read the story. Don't worry about, just read the story. They're working on it. You don't need to figure it out. I appreciated that so much. I thought that was so cool. I'm just saying. And that does not give anything away. So, obviously, spoiler, they're still alive on the 4th floor. Sorry. But other than that, so I am having the best time with these books. I am very much enjoying them. I think they're hilarious and heartfelt and wonderful. I know I've said it over and over again. I'm sorry. I'm like a broken record right now. Enjoying it tremendously. So, can't recommend them enough. I'm trying to get my husband to read faster because he reads like so slow. I'm like, we need to discuss these books. And I'm like, did you read last night? He's like, I got through like 3 pages. I'm like, I am done with book 3. We need to keep rolling. So, I wanted to share that with you. So I'm working on, let's sit and work on a little bit of this shawl here, and we'll discuss life. I did want to, okay, while we're talking yarn, let's see. I know Yarn Inspirations right now has 40% off site-wide, so if there's anything you need from them. I was hoping to hear from this girl back if she wants me to make this custom shawl, because they have a couple of different yarns I think would work for her shawl. But I need to know from her which one he wants, because I could just order all kind of yarn, but I shouldn't. And there is stuff I want to order from Yarn Inspirations while they're having their 40% off site-wide sale, and there is an extra 10% off if you sign up for the newsletter. I won't give that code out, but I will tell you that If you have the Capital One shopping app, it also will give it to you. So either way, just in case you need stuff. So yeah, so that's going on right now in the yarn world. I did see Fiber Spider's Facebook page is having a show us what you made out of Fiber Spider's patterns. So if there's anything you've made from his patterns, show it off on the Facebook page. I'd love to see it. Like I said, I need to start doing some patterns. I have a pattern on there, or not a pattern. I have one of his patterns that I modified on there, so I put it on the Facebook page. See if you can find me. I don't have it under Raven's Escape Crafts. I have it under my personal page. So see if you can find my creation if you're on there. What else was I gonna say? Yarn wise, I don't know. I've just been watching different YouTube channels, trying to get some inspo. Like I said, I think it's like we're starting to get into the spring fever here. But yeah, so that's my big yarny thing. Like I said, this is so pretty. I think it's so pretty. This is going to be a really nice shawl. Alright, hold on. Let me pause. Alright, so, let me get a drink quick. You know, I made the last video, and I was, like, really getting hard on myself. So here's the real talk. So if you don't like the real talk, you can always turn it off. I don't care if you don't want to hear my real talk. But I want to have a heart-to-heart. So, you know, I don't have the highest views of anybody ever here, and I was getting really hard on myself last time I made a video. And I'm like, my videos aren't that exciting, and I really need to work on that. I need to work on doing more stuff, like showing more of my like work and stuff like that. Which not showing my work, but like, you know, showing you guys like maybe doing like, I don't want to say tutorial, but like almost more like tutorial stuff. And I need to be like, you know, more exciting in my videos so that everybody's excited. And I'm like, you know what? I'm sitting here like, you know, there are times where I'm super excited and I'm super happy, and then there's times where I'm not, and I don't want to be fake like that. You know what I mean? I guess I should be putting on a persona. I should be putting on a persona for you guys, but I just don't want to. I don't know. I'm not at a place where I want to put on airs. I just don't. It's kind of like, this is me, take it or leave it at this point, you know? You know, so let's get into it. All right. So I'm frustrated. Health-wise, okay? I've been dealing with this pain in my legs and feet and back for so long now, for years, okay? Longer than I even thought about it until I started really thinking about it, you know what I mean? I don't want to say this. So, I really started having where it affected my daily a couple of years ago, where I started to not be able to do stuff, and it progressed to the point where I'm at now, where I am stuck on one floor. I cannot do stairs. It's not safe at all. My feet are incredibly wobbly. I cannot walk without the walker, not even to go to the bathroom. I can walk around the first floor, but I can't really go out in the kitchen much. I've told anybody who's been here knows, because I feel like I'm going to fall. I have to be very careful. I want to tilt back. And I realized that it's been an ongoing progressive thing for longer than I even realized. But the frustrating part right now is, and those of you who've been here know, I ended up in the hospital in September with sepsis, because I had a terrible, horrible, no good infection in my feet and legs. Now that's been cleared up for a long time. The wounds themselves are healed, but the walking has not gotten any better. Um, I mean, it's better than when I had the open wounds, because then it was absolutely excruciating to stand on my feet. At this point, they still hurt like crazy. I am in pain 24 hours a day. Um, yeah. Sometimes worse than others. Like this past weekend was bad. I felt like my feet were on fire, and basically like I was standing on hot coals with electricity running through them. And that was sitting still. That was just sitting here. It was a rough weekend, which is why I didn't make a video. I was in incredible amounts of pain. I was incredibly distracted. I couldn't pay attention to work on things. I wanted to. I just couldn't. I tried. I tried to read. I tried to work on stuff. I couldn't. Some days are better than others. I don't know what's wrong. And why I'm frustrated the most is I'm gonna, you know, I don't love going to the doctor. Who does? I don't know how to ask for help. I'm Gen X. I've always had to do everything on my own, you know, or, well, I mean, I have my husband and my kids and stuff, but I've done a lot on my own. I've always taken care of everybody else. I've always had to take care of everybody else. You know, my family, you know what I mean? I always had to take care of everybody. I'm still taking care of everybody. So, having to ask for help, having to ask for doctor help is hard for me, okay? But I've been doing it, okay? Like, I ended up in the hospital. That was very, very hard for me. I did it. I did it for the sake of myself. I did it for the sake of my family. My kids, my husband. I went to wound care. That was not fun. It hurt like crazy. But I wanted to get better. I was going to that. Wounds are healed. I've been going to see my primary care doctor. I went to see a surgeon. I got a colonoscopy. I'm going to wound care weekly for months and months and months. I've been doing that, even though it's hard. You know, I went for 2 CAT scans. I went for, I don't know how many blood tests at this point. I had appendix surgery, you know, and yet I still can't walk. And not only can I not walk, but nobody's even addressed the problem. So when I had my appendix taken out, they told me there was endometriosis on it. They were concerned about cancer. But when they did the biopsy, they set the entire appendix in, and they said no, it was endometriosis, and the only reason it showed up on the scan was because there was fibrous material, which means scar tissue, which means not only was it appendicitis, but not appendicitis, I'm sorry, endometriosis, but I've had it for a long time. So, oh, here's the cat. Apologies. So when I went to for my follow up for the surgeon, well, let me backtrack a little bit. So the last time I was at the primary care doctor, I brought up to her, like, I need to figure out why I can't walk. And I love my primary, she's very nice. The primary care doctor I'm seeing is really, really nice. But she's like, well, I don't know. And I said, well, could it be my sciatic? And she goes, well, if it's that, then we're going to send you to physical therapy. We'll have to talk about that after the surgery. Okay. But you're just going to take my word for the fact that it's sciatic. I don't know that it's sciatic. Shouldn't we do like an x-ray or something? See if my back's messed up? I don't know. Shouldn't we So she's like, well, we can't do anything till after the surgery anyway. So have the surgery, come back and see me in March. So I have to make an appointment to do that. But in the meantime, she had done a pap smear and it came back. She did a pap smear, she did a HPV test. The pap smear came back inconclusive because I don't think they did it right. But she admitted. She admitted that. She's very nice, like I said. So then she said to me, well, you haven't been to the OBGYN. You should probably really go see the OBGYN. Why? Do you want me to do another pap smear or do you want to just go to see the OBGYN? I said, well, at this point, I might as well just go see the OBGYN. This is before I even knew about the endometriosis. Okay. So then after all this, when I went to see the surgeon's office, after I had the appendix taken out, I was talking to Susan, my follow-up, and I said, I asked her, what was, what did they find? And she said this, which I knew because I had seen it on the, on my lab reports. And I said, well, what does that mean? And that's when she was explaining to me that the fibrous material just means that there was a lot of scar tissue, which means they had the endometriosis for a long time. Which she said, of course, makes one wonder how much more endometriosis do you have? So I said, she said to me, this is exactly what she said to me. She said to me, so you have an appointment on March 2nd with an OBGYN. I want you to talk to her about that because she said, obviously, if we found this, there could be, who knows where it could be elsewhere. And I know you're having all kind of other health problems. This might be an avenue to explore. She said, I don't know. But she's like, definitely talk to your OBGYN about this. Okay. Fast forward to yesterday. Let me tell you my story. I am just so I spent the whole weekend stressing out about this. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I'm not going to put on airs for you guys. I spent the entire weekend stressed out. Worried about this appointment. And half of me because I was like, I'm just going to go and get disappointed again. And then the other half of me is telling me, stop being so negative. This is it. We're going to go there. They're going to listen to me. This is going to be, I should have kept with the first. Let's just put it that way. So I went in yesterday. Now I'm going to say something again. The thing that surprises me most. Now, again, this is not like some little doctor's office in the middle of nowhere. This is a multi-floor doctor's office with, I think now they're up to 8 different kinds of doctors in there. So 8 different doctors' offices with multiple doctors in each. Like just the family practice part of it alone has, I think, 12 doctors. The OBGYN part has 8 OBGYNs. I don't know about the other parts. I know there's others. There's there's even a lab on site. Okay, so we're not talking a small doctor's office somewhere. That would be different. The difficulty they have in accommodating somebody in a wheelchair is unreal. You know, we get in there. She didn't hold the door. The nurse didn't hold the door for us. I had to hold the door. Okay. Then she's like, she doesn't look at me. She looks at my aide and says, "Did she get up on the scale or no?" I'm like, "I can if you want me to." You know, because it was the one that had this big, it has the rails on it and stuff like that. If it was one like didn't have the rail, but it has the grab bars on it. And then she looks at me, she goes, "Are you going to need a bed that raises and lowers? Are you going to be able to climb?" I'm like, I can't climb. No. She's like, "You can't just step up on a step." I'm like, "No, it's not safe. Like those beds, that step is so wiggly, and I'm not good. So as it is, like I'm not gonna fall at the stupid doctor's office when you have beds that can go up and down." So she goes, "Well, then I'm gonna have to get another room ready." And I'm like, it's in my chart that I'm in a wheelchair. So then we had to wait. She's left us sitting out in the hallway for like 10 minutes. And she finally comes in and she's like, "Oh, I didn't grab you a robe or what's it called? Oh my god, I can't think of the name. The hospital thing. So she went out a gown. She went out and got me a gown. And she comes back and she's like, she was okay. She wasn't super friendly, but she was very professional. She was fine. The nurse was. I can't complain about the nurse. She wasn't fun or very, I like when they're like a little more personable, but she was fine. She did her job. She was completely competent, whatever. So then she says to me, "Well, the doctor has a student with her today. Is that okay?" I'm like, "That's absolutely fine. I don't care. Don't mind at all." So this person walks in. I would judge like in her 30s, whatever. Maybe, yeah. So I'm like, "Oh, okay." So this person walks in wearing, I kid you not, a sweatshirt with the hospital name on it, and a pair of sweatpants and a pair of sneakers. So I'm thinking, "Oh, okay, maybe this is the student coming in first." No, that was the doctor. Now, I mean, I know we shouldn't judge, blah, 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 but I mean, I'm telling you, this woman looked like she just rolled out of bed. Like, her hair was all messy, and I'm not trying to judge somebody's looks, but like, when I say it, like, her hair was like thrown up in like the messiest of messy, but like when you put up, like, it takes 2 minutes to put your hair up in a decent bun. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 minutes. Like, this looked like a complete afterthought. And like, it wasn't even like centered. It was like all off to the side. And then she's wearing, like I said, like a sweatshirt and sweatpants. Like, that's really unprofessional. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not asking for a lot. But like, at least like a pair of jeans and a decent top. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, something would be nice. Like, so she comes in and she's like, "So you're here for your," she like looks at the computer. She's like, "So you're here for your annual?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, I see your PCP did," and it doesn't look at me once. "I see your PCP did PAP and HPV test." Oh. Well, your PCP, she's like, she already did a PAP and an HPV test. "I don't know why you're here." I'm like, "Well, because the PAP smear came back inconclusive." She goes, "Oh, well, she's just a PCP, so she doesn't know, probably." Ugh. But we only need a clear HPV test. We don't need a clear pap smear. And I'm like, so I don't need to be here? She's like, no, no. She goes, unless, are you going through, are your periods regular? And I'm like, no. Oh, so you're going through perimenopause. And then she proceeds to tell me what perimenopause is and menopause, which I know. She didn't ask me, like, if I knew, like, first she's telling me my doctor's stupid. My family doctor's stupid. Then she's telling me, like, she treats me like I'm stupid, like I don't know what menopause is. I mean, she could have very least asked me what I knew or what I was going through, but instead she just and then she's like, so what you're going through is completely normal and it'll be over in 2 or 3 years. And I'm like, that's not true at all. Most women go through it for at least 10 years before we hit menopause. Not 2 to 3 years. I've been going through it for well over 2 to 3 years. Oh my God. And because she's like, as soon as your periods start getting a little bit different, we consider it perimenopause. And there's nothing we can do about it. And I'm like, okay, but I have like problems with my periods. She's like, it's normal. So she goes in, she goes, oh, you had blood work done. Well, your hemoglobin's fine, so you're not anemic. That's the only thing we look for. Other than that, you just need to, you're fine. It's just normal. It's just normal what people go through. Like, so I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, when I was at this surgeon's office she's like, well, what do you have surgery for? I'm like, I had my appendix removed because I had a lump, I said, and they found endometriosis. She's like, oh, I didn't see that in your chart. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah, it's in my chart. She goes, I did not see that. Are you sure that's what you have? I'm like, it's in the pathology report under my surgery. She's like, I don't see it. And I'm like, well, when I was at the surgeon's office, they told me to ask you about if this could be what's affecting my legs. And she rolls her eyes. It has nothing to do with your legs. Oh my God, you're just going through something that everybody goes through. When I tell you, so then she's like, well, I'm supposed to go get an ultrasound done. My family doctor had ordered an ultrasound, but I don't know how to get the ultrasound because it's on my chart that I'm supposed to have one, but no way of how I'm supposed to get one. So I'm like, oh yeah, well, I said, she told me to wait until I talk to you to see what, she's like, well, yeah, you need to get the ultrasound. I said, well, where do I make the appointment for the ultrasound? Like, can I do it in your office? She's like, no, you need to call the 1-800 number for the hospital and make an appointment. I'm like, okay, I don't know that. It doesn't even say that. It's just like a referral in my chart. I assumed every other time I got like a test referral like that, they called me from the hospital. I didn't think I had to call and make the appointment. I'm like, okay. And then that was it. She's like, and then if you're really going to complain about it, we can talk your options, but there aren't any good ones. I'm like, when I tell you, I was so frustrated. She walked out and my aide's like, why didn't you, I'm like, she's like, why didn't you say that, I said, because she wasn't going to listen to me. I knew it. If I knew she wasn't going to listen to me. And I don't want her as my doctor if she's not going to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want her as my doctor. Because she's like, you should have done this, you should have done that. I'm like, no, I don't want somebody as my doctor if they're not gonna like, if they're gonna roll their eyes at me when it's like acting like I Googled it or something, where it was a doctor that told me to ask her about this, and then she rolls her eyes and acts like I don't know, like I'm crazy. I don't want her as my doctor. So no, I did not push it. But it doesn't mean like I sat there and cried right in the freaking doctor's office after she walked out of the room, because I'm like, doesn't anybody care that I can't walk? Like nobody even acknowledges it. Like I'm going to all these doctors, I can't walk. You've no idea why I can't walk, and nobody cares. And I'm not even allowed to ask questions about my own health. Ugh, I'm so frustrated, you know? And of course they're like, you need to stop at checkout. I stop at checkout. She's like, I need to make an appointment for you for a year. I'm like, no, you don't. And we walked out. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to do at this point. I don't. I'm frustrated. Like I said, I spent the entire weekend in excruciating pain. Excruciating pain. Where twice over the weekend I was in so much pain I could feel myself going into shock or pain, whatever they call it, pain overload, where my whole body starts to shake, like shake. And I get freezing cold and I can't get warm, even though it was really warm out. And I get freezing cold and my entire body starts to shake uncontrollably. And I feel like I'm on fire. It's and I don't know what to do. I couldn't sleep. I barely slept all weekend because I was in so much pain. And then I slept all day. I slept during the day over the weekend. When I would finally get tired, I'd just get so exhausted, I would lay down and go to sleep. But overnight, I was in so much pain. I have to sleep when I can get it. And again, like I said in other videos, then they're like, oh, are you looking for pills? I'm not looking for pills. I'm looking for an answer. I just want to walk. Like I just want an answer, or if not, let's figure out what actually is wrong and figure out, if I do need to adjust to this being my life, then let's figure out why, and then like figure out, is there a way I can get some sort of relief pain wise, because when I start getting warm, which of course it's spring, it's going to start getting warm again. I cannot go every day in this excruciating pain. I can't do it. Especially when my body starts to get to the point where I'm going into whatever they call it, pain overload or shock or whatever. It's not okay. It's not. And like, and it's funny because like I'm sitting here trying to like play it off. My husband's playing video games and I was trying to hang out and watch him and just chill. And he's sitting here and he says to me, he kept stopping. He's like, you're not okay. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And he's like, you're putting that smile on your face and you're pretending you're watching, but he's like, you're just sitting there in pain. I'm like, yeah, I am. I don't have a choice. It's really freaking hard. And I choose to stay positive, I was talking to my one girlfriend on the phone on Sunday, and she said to me, she's like, doesn't it bother you that you can't go anywhere? That you can't drive, that you can't go upstairs or in the basement, or that you're living on the first floor of your house? That you can't really even go in the kitchen? That you can't go do stuff with your family? She's like, doesn't it bother you? And I'm like, some days. But I can't let it bother me every day because I need to live. So I try to be positive. I try to enjoy my yarn and my books and my TV shows. I try to enjoy the time I can have with family and friends. You know? And I try to make the best of it. That's what I've always done, and that's what I try to do, you know? If I let myself think of how bad a situation I'm in and how frustrated I am all the time, I wouldn't be here right now. You know, which is extra why I'm like so frustrated. I just need, like, is it too much to ask for doctors to help? You know, I said to my husband, I feel like I'm in like a little kid game of not it, not it. You know, the diatrist said, not it. It's not your feet, it's your back. You know, I go to the OBGYN and she says, well, it's not your uterus, it's something else. You know, okay, well, could we at least do some sort of test to see maybe what it is? I'm sorry. I did not want to cry out here. So, if anybody's going through stuff, I know. I'm here for you. Big ol' hugs and my big ol' comfy sweater that I made. For me, this is my personal sweater. So if any of you out there going through anything, it doesn't have to be even anything like what I'm going through. Whether it's just having a bad day, just struggling with this weather, just struggling with life in general, or just in a bad mood today, I feel you. I see you. I'm here for you. I get it. We're in this together, right? And I appreciate each and every one of you. And I am so glad you're here with me. I will leave you with that. I'm sorry I cried. I know I shouldn't be sorry because I'm going through crap. And I'm trying to be real with you guys. So hopefully by next time I make a video, and hopefully it'll be sooner than this last time, it will have more creations in it. Things will be done. I will be able to show off my pretty things, and I will be in a little bit better mood. I apologize. It has been just a struggle bus. I want to make more happy, exciting videos, and I've just been, my energy is nothing. My headache, I've been just headaches and pain and stress, and I'm trying. I'm doing my darndest best. I really am, and I try to be positive, and it's hard, you know. It is, and I don't, you know, I don't really drink because it makes me hot. I don't do drugs. Hardest thing I take is a leave, you know. Well, I got gabapentin now, but that's only at night to try to sleep, and even that's not. It's only the little low dose of it, little baby dose of it. So, yeah, you know, I'm just riding life raw here. Got my only drug I do is yarn. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you guys have a great day. I hope if you're still with me, God bless. God bless. I love each and every one of you. Do something nice for yourself today. Make yourself smile. Do something that makes you smile. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will see you next time. Choose love every day, everybody, okay? Bye.